1 week into the new national security law in Hong Kong, and people say a chill is settling in across the city. It's a place where certain slogans are now considered a crime, and expressing ideas about politics can be dangerous. And so the crowds of protesters that had taken to Hong Kong streets for much of the past year have now largely gone silent, cautiously choosing to trade chants and defiance for blank pieces of paper to avoid arrest and maybe keep up the fight. Like Joshua Wong, within minutes of the new law taking effect, he disbanded the pro-democracy group he co-founded, figuring he's a target. Already arrested 8 times and not so keen to go back to jail. But that doesn't mean he plans to stay quiet. But how do you go about protesting without violating this new law?
Which is hard for us to define and understand what's the red line. And it's easy for Beijing to arrest anyone in Hong Kong, but it doesn't mean that we need to give up and not to have protests. We will never stop until Hong Kong is Hong Kong again.
The security law targets secession, subversion, terrorism, and collusion with foreign forces. And it's seen by legal experts around the world as being both wide-reaching and restrictive. Violations could mean being put on trial in mainland China, with penalties that include life imprisonment. There are worries that freedom of speech is now under threat. These slogans will always be in my heart, says this man, and those words will always stay on white paper. Books by pro-democracy figures, including Joshua Wong, are now being pulled from public libraries in Hong Kong for review. They just aren't available.
And it's also an excuse to use the national security law to silencing the voice of Hong Kong people, and also restrict our access to any materials related to public affairs. So I would say that Hong Kong now almost have no difference with China.
You see, a lot of the rights and freedoms that have defined Hong Kong since the 1997 handover from Britain are not enjoyed on the mainland. With this new law, online discussions, social media accounts, debates, flags, even pamphlets are now subject to censorship and digital surveillance. And it's not just for people in Hong Kong. Article 38 of the law says that it applies to effectively anyone, anywhere in the world. Some countries are issuing travel advisories, warning citizens that they could now face arbitrary detention by authorities in Hong Kong. And that's why there's a standoff brewing with American big tech. Already, Facebook, Google, Zoom, and Twitter have said they are temporarily not complying with requests for user data from Hong Kong authorities until they can assess the new law. TikTok went even further, even though it has Chinese ownership. The company says it's pulling out of Hong Kong because of how the new law could impact user privacy. It's also trying to appease Washington at a time when popular Chinese apps are not so popular with U.S. officials.
Would you recommend that people download that app on their phones tonight, tomorrow, anytime currently?
Only if you want your private information in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party.
How important is it for big U.S. tech firms like that to take these positions?
It's important for social media company and also any tech company, no matter Facebook, Google, and WhatsApp, stand firm on the principle of free flow of information and refuse the Hong Kong police or the secret agent from Beijing to access any information to Hong Kong people with the threat of the government.
On the first day of the new law, 10 people were arrested and charged with breaking it. The first to appear in court, a 23-year-old man who drove his bike into police while carrying a flag with a slogan that's now banned. China's government and authorities in Hong Kong say the law targets only a handful of people, that the majority of the city's 7 million people aren't affected. The social order will be more stable, said a spokesperson in Beijing, adding that business will improve and there'll be harmony. But in a sign that life in Hong Kong is fundamentally changing, Beijing's new National Security Office was inaugurated today. For the first time, security agents from China will operate openly and have the power to investigate, to arrest, and potentially extradite Hong Kong people to the mainland for trial in a system where the conviction rate is nearly 100%. Officials called it an historic moment, and few in Hong Kong would disagree.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.